Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
So today we're going to talk about something that can really make a big difference in your life, make you feel better emotionally, spiritually, better in relationships. And there's a pretty good chance you're probably not doing this. And it's so obvious, but unless you get that reminder or that the wake-up call from your body or your mind, you don't know you should be doing it. And I'm talking about self-care, self-love, really taking the time for yourself. But what are we talking about here? How long does it take? What should you be doing? All those questions, we're going to get them answered today. She is a nurse coach, and she's also the senior nurse coach of the Abundant Life Therapeutic Service of Indiana. Veronica Chestang joins us. Hi, Veronica. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Steve. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we're talking about this. It is something that I ignored pretty much all my life until I made a change or changes happened to me in my life and a different journey. And I realized you're taking care of everybody else. You didn't take care of you. And unless you do, you can't take care of everybody else. How do you define self-love and self-care?
A kindred spirit. So I see we're on the same journey.
There you go.
Yeah,
I'll go even deeper to the point where I gave myself an ulcer. I had issues with skin cancer, ignored them. I had to have radiation for it, and it was low level, but I didn't take care of it because I got to take care of that. I got to take care of that. Didn't take care of that.
And a lot of times that happens because we are so in love with being a servant to other people that we tune out that inner wisdom, that inner voice that is constantly speaking to us. Hey, tapping us on the shoulder. Listen, you need to take care of this. You need to see about this. But because we constantly go so much, we tend to tune that out. And I've so been there myself. I was close to 70 pounds overweight. My blood pressure was out of control. And here I am as a nurse trying to help someone else. And I myself was suffering. And so that's where this whole road to being a nurse coach came about for me. Just to start really at the beginning, because you made a very good point. A lot of people really don't know what nurse coaching is or what a nurse coach does. So the coaching field, it's so broad, and there's not a lot of regulation to it. So us as being registered nurses, to distinguish ourselves as being coaches, health and wellness coaches, lifestyle coaches, or particularly a nurse who's coaching in her particular specialty of nursing for like OBGYN nursing, a midwife nurse, or something along that line. We use the term nurse coach just to distinguish ourselves so that the public knows this is a registered nurse who's offering this type of coaching.
And there's a lot of great life coaches out there, but if you want to pick one, I'm going with the one who's a nurse that has a medical background. Why not?
It helps especially if the client has some sort of medical issues going on, because at least then the nurse can have some general knowledge of what that is. We always, whether it's nursing in the hospital bedside nursing or being a nurse coach, we have our own scope of practice that we work within. And so if it is beyond our scope of practice, we do as we always do, we refer out. But having that knowledge base definitely gives us a different insight to it. And as you said, there are so many wonderful coaches out there. The name nurse coach just gives the distinction that we are registered nurses. We have had continuing education courses. Many have become certified, board certified, and just have taken that extra step.
So let's go to self-care, self-love, whatever, however, are they the same thing?
They are closely related. Self-care is the things that you do to keep yourself in balance. Self-love is really that being in tune with yourself and appreciating who you are, where you are, and loving yourself as that individual, knowing that you are working towards becoming the individual that you know you can be. So in order to care for yourself, you have to love yourself.
Now
and
it's clear.
I think that's where the disconnect comes. Yeah. For me anyway.
No, I totally have it. Because let's put it this way. Those of us that ignore ourselves, self-care, self-love, and we take care of other people, we usually take care of them because we love them. So how are you going to take care of you if you don't feel that you love you?
Exactly. The aviation industry, I really think they got it right. They tell you all the time when you get on the plane, secure your own air mask first before you assist your fellow passenger. And if you're not able to breathe, airway, breathing, circulation, my healthcare counterparts, we all know that, the ABCs. If you're not able to breathe yourself, you're going to pass out and you're going to be of no benefit to anyone. So you have to take care of yourself in a balanced way. By no means are we saying that you should just forget everything else and just say it's all about me, 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 because that would be swinging the pendulum all the way into the opposite direction. But it's all about balance. You have to maintain yourself in order to help and be of service to others. I liken it to, how you have a pitcher with water. You can pour out of the water out of that pitcher as long as there's water in the pitcher. But when that pitcher becomes empty, you can tilt it all you want to. There's nothing to come out. You have to replenish that pitcher before you can continue to pour. And so that's what self-care is all about, continuing to replenish that pitcher.
I want to talk more about how we can better care for ourselves and show ourselves self-love. But before we go there, and we admitted to it when we first started talking, that we didn't do it. Do you think that a lot of us don't do it because we feel guilty that we're taking care of ourselves?
Oh, no doubt. As a nurse coach, one of the first things I do is I give my client permission to take care of themselves, because so many feel like, oh, well, no, I should be doing something for someone else. And that's okay that you have that notion. There's nothing wrong with that. But you're valuable too. You're worthy of it as well. And in order to be the best person to someone else, you have to be your best person for yourself. As a Christian myself, I look at Jesus as my example. And one of his commandments that he gave was, love the Lord thy God with everything that you have. And the second is to love your neighbor as yourself. So I can't love you properly, Steve, if I'm not loving myself properly, because I don't know how to love you. And so taking all of that into consideration, because I knew all of those things before, but I was not making it a priority. So I made sure that through my life's journey, I now know that I have to take care of myself. And to show love to myself is showing love to God and to other people, because now I'm positioned to do more for them.
Now that you know what you know, Dr. V, Nurse Coach V, I'm sorry.
Not the first time that's happened. I don't know where it comes from, but
I don't know. Run with it. Do you
right?
Are there things that you look now and say, I still could be doing a better job at caring for myself? Do you still think that?
Oh, no doubt. I still don't exercise. I try to incorporate things that I like to do. That way it's not a challenge or a chore for me to do them. But there are still times when I get tired and I just say, oh, well, I'm not going to do it today, but if I'm not careful, today will turn into today and tomorrow or the next week. So I'm still not that good with that. Some of my eating, I could still do a little bit better than that. I know that I do better prepping my meals. I cook usually on Saturday evening or Sunday after I come in from church, and I'll cook enough to last for the whole week, and I'll section it out. I do it much better that way. I function better that way. That way, when I'm busy, I don't just run out or call DoorDash for someone to bring me something to eat. I have prepared it myself. I'm watching my sodium intake, so I know how much salt I'm adding to my food if I choose to do it. I'm in more control of what it is that I'm putting in my body and how I'm eating, the portion sizes that I have. I see that the benefit of me doing that, but do I fulfill it all the time? Oh, no, I'll be completely honest. There's always room for growth. And as long as I'm breathing, there's going to be room for growth. One thing about self-care and self-love, it's not a place that you arrive at. It is a journey. And as long as you continue to participate in the journey, you're going to make changes, you're going to make strides, and you're going to take time to celebrate those things, because that's going to motivate you to keep going. So as long as I'm breathing, I'm here, I am going to making those changes. And there are going to be times that I'm going to fall down, but I'm going to get back up, dust myself off, and keep right on going. continuing to make my goals, continuing to strive to hit those goals, and building on top of that more and more.
I guess if you look back, let's say a year or two, where you were in your journey, where you are, you're here, and you can probably go here, as you go along. And I'm right there on your page, even with the eating thing. I was in the best shape in decades this time last year. And I worked at it. I really worked at it. And then you kind of derail, met some friends, hang out, go out to dinner a lot, whatever it might be. Don't exercise as much. And then, you gain 14 pounds and you're like, got to get back on that.
Before you realize it, it sneaks up on you so quickly.
It really does. And it's increments. Like you get on the scale, it's like, gained like 5 pounds. Yeah, no big deal. It's only 5. And then all of a sudden, where did the 10 come from? And then some. But even to your point, like I said to myself, yeah, it's time for a routine blood test. When was the last time I had one? Oh, wow. 2 years ago. Okay. And if you look in my car, underneath the sun visor is the script for it. And it's been there 3 weeks now. And I keep saying, because you got to fast, got to wake up early. I'm going to go get it done. It's like this gets in the way, that gets in the way, but got to get it done.
And it's, I tell people, because I experienced that myself, and then as a coach, there's nothing wrong with making a list, a to-do list to do, or even with our smartphones, we can set a note on our phone to remind us to do different things like that. Especially when it comes to things of monitoring your health, you want to stay on top of those things because you don't want to lose those gains that you've made. You've worked hard for that, and you want to be able to track all of the progress that you're getting, and then have your assessment. Okay, I've gone this far. I need to make X, Y, and Z changes so I can take this even further and make even greater strides. So, you don't want to down yourself because you missed it. It's still in the visor, but just create an opportunity for you to say, well, I'm going to take this next steps further. I'm going to set a goal for myself. Okay, today's Wednesday. By Friday, 4 p.m., I'm going to make sure I take that phone call to get this scheduled so that I can move on to the next step.
Yep.
And that's something we all have to do.
How about some examples of self-care? We gave a few in terms of diet, exercise. Any other ones?
Oh gosh, this is the beauty of the nurse coach. I love this. I talked earlier about inner wisdom, and sometimes we get so busy that we tune that out. We individually, that is my belief, certainly know what it is that we need to do, and it may be different for each individual. I like to go and have a massage every once in a while. That's a broad spectrum.
I was just thinking about that today. I am not kidding. I'm like, and I know I'm not going to be able to do it probably at least until Sunday. And I haven't done it in a while, but I would like, if I could go tomorrow, I'm there.
I know. And you know what, in addition to being a nurse coach, I'm also a licensed massage therapist, not, no plug or anything like that. But I realize that it's not fluff and buff. Massage therapy is it's therapy. It's therapeutic. It's therapeutic for your muscles. It's therapeutic for your lymphatic system, your nervous system. So it is a form of healing and self-care.
Yeah.
It's an expensive one. Not everyone can do it, but you can, whatever it is that you can do. If stretching relaxes you, which we know it does through research, stretch, whatever you can do. Excuse me, that you like to do, that is a form of self-care. Some people like to meditate, some people like to pray, some people like to walk or exercise, like we talked about. It's those things that bring you joy, relax you, take you to a place of peace. Those are things that you can use for self-care and self-healing. Again, the point is to stay balanced in what it is that you do, because balance is key. My saying is balance births breakthrough. I really believe that staying balanced and equal with the equilibrium is what births change and self-care.
We call that the triple B.
I love it.
Yeah, can't forget it though.
No, you can't.
and back on the massage thing, I think there is a stigmatism perception that, oh, look at Veronica, she's getting a massage. Oh, look at that. No, it's therapeutic. There's a reason. It's not just, going to the spa today. There's a reason for it.
There's definitely a reason for it. My massage instructor, who has now passed on, Irene Gauthier, she coined the term myomassologist. Myo for muscle, massage, mass for massage, ology, the study of. So a myomassologist is one who studies the workings of muscles. And it's not only an art, but it's a skill, and it is a teachable thing that we do. We love what we do, but it's a form of therapy, and it's a healing therapeutic. It really is.
Self-care, some other tips are the things we should be doing or could be doing.
Oh wow, my goodness. Taking time to something simple. There's so many different things that are all just bumping up. I'm just trying to get everything together. Some of the things that I hear people say, how can I come home from work and I'm so just stressed out. I can't even sleep at night. I'm lying in the bed and I'm just tossing and turning. So many of us are used to having our smartphones with us at all times. The blue light that's emitted from that, it really can keep us awake. So a good self-care tip that you can do is just detox yourself from that phone. A couple of hours at best, even if it's only a half hour, 45 minutes before you get ready to go to bed, put the phone down. If you don't need it for work, but to check your emails, it's not necessary, put that down. If you can, 6 to 8 hours of rest a night. We know that is something evidence-based, that our bodies need to regenerate and get the regeneration and the nutrients that we need. We have to do that. We should do that at least anyway, and make the attempt to do that. Taking time just to breathe properly. People don't, I am certainly guilty of this myself. Short breaths, and you don't, almost to the point of hyperventilating. We need to be taking deep breaths so that we can get a good inflow of oxygen and exhale all of the carbon dioxide and the other things that need to come out of the body. So just taking a deep breath in. 2 or 3 of those in succession. And just that, I can already feel my shoulders are falling. My face is fuller. My smile is different. Just being able to breathe, taking what we call a diaphragmatic breath, where you're breathing in through your nose all the way down and you're feeling your diaphragm expanding within your abdominal cavity. Those types of breaths, they're cleansing, they're relaxing, and they're therapeutic. So those are just some simple things that we can do for self-care.
And scientific, it's been proven that it's like a reset on your body, just doing those breaths. Yeah.
Yes, really is.
And even just, I just did this before. I had a friend come visit, had a little bit of time in my day. And I said, I got to get outside. I said, we went for a coffee. I said, let's go take a drive. And I just stopped. I said, and there's an industrial park here. There's no park. And I said, there's a tree right here and some bushes. Okay with you, I'm parking right here for 20 minutes and we're just going to hang, because it just needed to be outside, getting out into nature.
Especially now we're in fall of the year, transitioning into winter, where we're not going to get as much sunlight as we've been having. If you can catch some sun and be able to get out and get some fresh air, it's beautiful. People say that's getting in touch with nature, getting energized. However you look at it, if that is something that creates excitement within you, then that's something you can do for self-care.
So give your website before we continue.
It is www.taltsindy.com. Taltsindy.com. Even I get confused. Taltsindy.
And
it stands for the name, the Abundant Life Therapeutic Services of Indiana. So Taltsindy.
Gotcha. Instant feedback, Steve @gmail.com. Kelsey checks in from Camden, New Jersey and says, love your talk today. I finally realized how important self-care is. I want to share one thing that was important for me, and that is the power of no. Always realize that you can say no if you can't do all the things that people expect you to do. I just wanted to share that. Keep up the great work.
Oh my God, I love that. I love that. I created an acronym, BINGO. Bingo. And the N in bingo is no is not a bad word. It's boundaries.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
I think her name is Chelsea. Is that her name? Chelsea?
Kelsey.
Kelsey. So obviously, I mean, thumbs up to you. Keep doing it because, again, that's where the boundaries come in. That's where balance is. And I love it. Keep up the good work.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so important. Yeah. And that's the one thing. You almost don't want to let people down. And on the flip side of that, I think a lot of us want to appear like we're superhuman. I got that. I can do that. Yeah, I'm going to get that done. It's just, so we, I can show you my phone and scroll, and it just people hit me up today. And this is literally what we're doing. They're doing some Zoom videos, and I'm a geek. So they calling upon me, can you help me out with this? And I'm like, yes. And I'm like, and I wrote back up, said, love to help you out. I'm going to be busy for the next couple of days. I'll circle back, or, I'll text you back at some point. But the immediate thing was, yeah, call me right now. Tell me what you need. I'm like, no,
Oh, yeah.
no, I literally don't have time. And it's in my wheelhouse. I got that. But I don't got time. I don't have time. Just can't do it. Yeah.
We have to practice saying that, especially when you're the person, like how we were just saying, I'm the one that says, okay, yeah, I can do it. And even for me anyway, even as I'm saying, oh yeah, I can do it, my inner Veronica is saying, no, you can't, don't do that. But
Yeah.
that's the habit that we have to deprogram, break through it, change, and create something different.
It's almost like you have an assistant inside, and your assistant is saying, no, I got your schedule right here. You can't do that.
It's right here.
Veronica, you don't have time for that, Veronica. What are you doing?
Oh, and like I said, because I was in a habit of tuning that voice out, every once in a while, I will catch myself doing that. And I say, listen, you know better. Let's go back. I don't condemn myself for doing that, but I correct the error and I go back into what I know works for me. And that helps when you have already established your routine and you see the benefits of that. It can happen anywhere where you can slip off of it, but that motivates you to get right back on it because you see how much you're doing better because of it.
And I think it's also when you say no, how you say no,
Oh,
how you frame it.
it is. It's so, sometimes a person might not be able to say outright no. That might not be in their character or their nature. Another way to say it is, oh, you know what? I need time to look at my schedule and see if I'm available for that. Or perhaps I need to let me just take some time to think about that and I'll get back to you later. If you don't feel like giving that no right away, it's just a different way of pausing and giving yourself the opportunity to come back when you're stronger and give that no if that's what you feel you need to do.
Yeah. Basically buy yourself time.
Yes, yes.
No.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. No.
And you can fit it in at some point in your life, I'm sure, depending on what it is. But typically, somebody's asking for a favor or whatever, unless it's like, hey, I'm moving Saturday and I need you here. Like, well, if you can't then you can't. That's it. It's just, I'm sorry. I wish I could help you, but I got other things going on. And I hope you get it done.
And try not to, and like you said, I hope you get it done. Try not to feel guilty about it because it is your right and your prerogative to say no if it is not agreeing with what you need to do right now. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think that's one of the ways we can get trapped into saying yes all the time because we end up feeling guilty when we say no. But it's a catch-22 because now you're still feeling guilty over having committed yourself to this because you really didn't want to commit to it. But so you're dissatisfied and you're upset in conflict with yourself either way. So if you're going to make the decision based upon you being able to sleep well at night with the decision you made. And it is okay to make yourself the priority in these situations. It is up to you to choose what those situations are, but feel comfortable in saying, you know what, I'm not going to take this on right now. I need to recharge and regroup for myself. It's not a priority. And so because it's not a priority right now, I'm going to say no to this.
And you said something very powerful before in listening to yourself. Listen to within. Learn how to interpret your gut feeling because it's telling you, your body is telling you, you can't do this, or maybe you can do this, whatever, it's there. How does somebody work with you, Veronica? Let's say they just need some help moving their life forward, even what we're talking about today, helping being accountable for self-care and self-love. How does that work?
Well, you reach out to me, and then what I like to do is provide a very detailed health and wellness assessment, and it looks at everything, literally everything, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, socially, and after the person has taken the time to go through this assessment, it really opens up a lot of different things to the person. And then that way they can come back and say, well, V, I really feel like my environment, I need to take some time to work on that. Or perhaps spiritually, I need to really try to reconnect in that type of way. And then we sit down and we discuss how we want to move forward as far as the terms, the length of time we would like to work together. Which one of those things is your priority? We come up with some SMART goals to get started. And then each week we work together, or twice a week. That part is up to the client. But as we move forward to meet those goals, assess how we did with those goals, and then readjust as we need to and continue to move forward.
Love it. And you know what? I think one of the most important things is the accountability, where you're making somebody accountable for moving their life forward because you're there to help them out.
And that's the fun part for me. I get to be there and to celebrate the clients on their way to making these strides that they've been wanting to do for so long. Yeah. And I get to celebrate that. But more important even than celebrating, I take it to heart to create the atmosphere where they're comfortable to even be with me, because I can coach all day long, or at least attempt to. But if I'm not creating an atmosphere where people feel comfortable to share with me, are comfortable to be vulnerable with me, because in order to even get to the depths of some of the issues that need to be addressed, people have to be honest. I know I certainly did with where I came from and to get where I am now. So my biggest challenge is to make sure that people feel safe and comfortable with me, so that they can be honest and transparent with me, so that we can get to the root of whatever the issue is, and move forward in a positive way, so that they can live their best life now, the abundant life.
Please share your website again.
www.taltsindy.com.
Awesome talking with you today.
It has been absolutely my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. And just love thyself. It's okay.
Yes. It's okay. It is a commandment.
If it isn't, we're making, is it a commandment? I don't even know.
Well, Jesus said, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So technically you have to love yourself in order to be able to love your neighbor properly.
And there you go. That's it. Looking forward next time we get together.
Likewise. Thank you so much again.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you can now listen live on the MyTuner Radio and online Radio Box apps for iOS, Android, and the Amazon App Store. Or check us out online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on onlineradiobox.com/US so you don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.